Let's talk about some of the major developments and challenges that are impacting the trucking industry, which has been evolving rapidly over the past 20 years. On the tech front, it is now increasingly common to have a GPS tracking unit in the truck, and for companies to require drivers to use mobile devices to push load updates and collect PODs, which are proofs of delivery. Real time tracking has become the new expectation from clients, and many large carriers have invested and adapted. However, given the fragmented market, there are still a lot of old school offline trucking businesses. Technology investment in the trucking industry is also highly fragmented, leading large carriers to develop proprietary tech and leaving small carriers to piece together subpar solutions. As you can imagine, the trucking industry also has a huge impact on the environment. In turn, concerns about that impact are increasingly affecting the industry. Growing number of ports and cities are requiring trucks to meet higher emission standards and implementing clean truck laws that ban older, less efficient trucks from entering the port. It is also becoming increasingly feasible to power large trucks with electricity or biofuels, which has the potential to significantly reduce their carbon footprint. Better technology on this front, combined with strict local emission standards, may begin to force large trucking companies to convert more and more of their fleet away from diesel and towards these cleaner fuel sources. Another major challenge facing the trucking industry is the aging driver population. Currently, there are not enough young drivers coming into the industry to keep up with the demand. This is due in part to the high barrier for entry. Buying and operating a truck is expensive, especially given the previously mentioned emissions regulations required in newer trucks. In addition, driving a truck is a demanding occupation. Drivers commonly drive 14 to 16 hours per day, up to 5 to 6 days per week. Extensive travel may prevent them from spending as much time with their families as they'd like, and the facilities available to them on the open road and at ports and warehouses can rarely compete with the comfort of home. This challenge may be mitigated in the not too distant future by another expected technological development: autonomous vehicles. However, the timeline for that technology remains uncertain, and autonomous vehicles are unlikely to remake the industry within the next 10 years. Early self driving trucks are also unlikely to be completely autonomous. Point to point legs on long, straight roads are a lot easier to automate and are likely to be the starting point for automation, but those trucks would still require a driver to navigate trickier legs of the journey. Alternatively, a single driver might pilot multiple trailers, most of which are semi autonomous but follow the lead of the human driver. This potential strategy is known as driver light as opposed to driverless. Overall, the trucking industry is evolving and modernizing quickly. It's also experiencing large scale consolidation as more and more of the smaller players are absorbed into larger companies with better access to technology and more competitive wages for drivers. Personally, I'm very excited to see how the industry continues to change over the coming years.